All of us. If you ain't got your passport, figure it out. Matter of fact, we getting on your plane. Just probably park right outside. And one of the sisters want to know, brother, what's the color of the umbrella mean? That's a legit question that they told me to ask, but he went back to get on his plane and head back to Ghana. So once again, for the Majesty, all due respect right there. Thank you very much for coming. And we will, how many people have been to Ghana before, have been to the motherland across the seas? How many people? Nigeria, Ghana, West Africa, Congo. All right, if you have not been to the motherland, please, while you have a passport, use your passport to travel the world. Please just don't go to Miami, Atlanta, and South Beach, Virginia Beach, Atlantic City. These are not good vacation spots for the cultural black mind. Please expand your travel and travel to the other side of the world. You don't just keep going to Jamaica, no disrespect to Jamaica, but you go to Jamaica every other weekend and you feel like you've seen the world. There's some other islands that are amazing. Travel to the UK too. I would advise you to, there's some history in the UK where our history began in the origin of the UK. And go to Japan and go to China too. Please make sure you travel the world. You will learn a lot. Your mind will be opened. I will tell you that. I will say that to you. Please travel the world. Very important. All right, we're going to move on to our keynote speaker, also in the global icon. This gentleman is amazing, the Chief Executive Officer of the School News Nationwide. Please put your hands together for our keynote speaker, Dr. Bill Tinling. Please give him a round of applause as he is here to bring us our keynote address on this amazing and beautiful evening in Queens, New York. She's your queen to be. I just wanted to get that out. I'm sorry.
Friends, tonight we gather to celebrate visionaries whose lives remind us that education is not merely the transfer of knowledge, but the transformation of humanity. Few individuals embody this truth. In 1993, long before digital literacy became a global imperative, he founded School News Nationwide, pioneering the integration of technology, journalism, and media into education. This groundbreaking initiative redefined how students learn, communicate, and engage with the world, placing ethical storytelling, civic responsibility, and critical thinking at the heart of the classroom. His influence has been instrumental in transforming New York City schools, where he trained educators to lead with integrity, interdisciplinary insight, and moral clarity, preparing generations of students not only for careers, but for citizenship. In 2005, guided by the belief that shared stories can heal divided histories, he created Words and Bonds, a powerful initiative fostering dialogue and unity between African American and Jewish communities through the voices of Holocaust survivors and Black elders. His impact extends far beyond classrooms. As Goodwill Ambassador to Ukraine and Jamaica, he advances education-driven humanitarian and diplomatic initiatives, standing with communities in moments of both crisis and rebuilding. At the United Nations, he is a tireless advocate, amplifying the voices of Ukrainian refugee women and championing sustainable global development with unwavering resolve. As president and CEO of the German-Jamaican Museum, he preserves cultural heritage while creating pathways for economic empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we honor a man whose legacy is written not only in programs and policies, but in lives changed, bridges built, and futures inspired. Please rise and join me in welcoming our keynote speaker and the recipient of the Global Impact Icon Award.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Nostalgia is not even the word to see Brother Davin Lee, who I grew up with, college days and high school days, listening to him. It is more than an honor to be in the room today, where I see many of my brothers and sisters who I haven't seen in such a long time. So, on that note, I bid all of you good evening. Before I begin, I want to think about something. I want you to think about something, and that is every person in this room tonight is somebody's prayer. Somebody worked long hours for you. Somebody sacrificed for you. Somebody believed in you before you ever believed in yourself. And tonight, you are not here by accident. You're here because you carry a purpose. Now, let's talk about what that purpose really means. And in that note, I bid good evening, my brothers and my sisters, our young, gifted, and black President, Brother Carl Gray, and his board members. I bid you all greetings. Good evening to the dreamers, good evening to the builders, and good evening to the future. Tonight we gather in celebration, but more than that, we gather in recognition. Recognition that power lies in this room. Recognition that greatness lives in this room. Recognition that the future is already here. Because when I look across this audience tonight, I do not see guests. I see entrepreneurs. I see inventors. I see investors, innovators. I see leaders. I see history in motion. Now, let me share something many people still do not fully understand. What is that? If Black America were its own country, our economic output would exceed $1.8 trillion. That would make us one of the largest economics in the world. More than 50 million black people live in the United States. Around the world, people of Africa descent number more than 1.4 billion. We're not a small community. We are a global force. We shape the future. We shape innovation. We shape industries. We shape the future. We are not a small voice. We are an economic powerhouse. And yet, too often, we have been given the crumbs, while others receive the feast. Too often, we created the culture, but did not own the company. Too often, we moved the market, but did not control the capital.
Yes, sir.
The playing field has not been equal, but even when the system was unequal, we rose anyway. We rose from slavery. We rose from segregation. We rose from discrimination. We rose from the redlining. We rose from underfunded schools. We rose from closed doors and lower expectation. And we're all still rising. We're all still rising. But tonight, let the full story be told. Our history is not only a story of struggle, our history is a story of strength. We come from Harriet Tubman, who led people to freedom, Frederick Douglass, who turned knowledge into power, Sojourner Truth, who spoke truth into justice, Madam C.J. Walker, who built one of the first self-made fortune in America, Booker T. Washington, who built institutions, and of course, W.E.B. Du Bois, who built intellectual leadership. Dr. Martin Luther King, who built a movement that changed the moral direction of our nation. These were not just leaders, ladies and gentlemen. They were builders of possibilities. And that same strength lives in you. But our contribution did not stop with leadership. Black minds helped build modern America. Garnet Morgan created the modern traffic signal and gas mask. Dr. Charles Drew revolutionized blood storage and created the modern blood bank, saving millions of lives every day. Maria Van Brittan Brown invented home security system that protects families across the world. Alexander Miles improved the automatic elevator door, making modern buildings safer. Elijah McCoy engineering innovation was so precise that industries demanded the real McCoy. Lonnie Johnson, a NASA engineer, helped develop space technology and later created innovation used in millions of homes. And when America reached beyond the earth, Black excellence was also there. Katherine Johnson, she calculated the flight path that sent astronauts safely into orbit and brought them home. Dorothy Vaughan and Mary Jackson broke barriers at NASA, turning mathematics into movement and science into history. Let this truth be spoken clearly tonight, my brothers and my sisters. When America went to the moon, Black minds helped take it there. So when anyone asks what Black people have contributed to this nation, you tell them. You tell them that we built the science, we advanced the medicine, we strengthened the engineering, we powered innovation, we helped America reach the stars. You were never just part of the story. No, we helped write that story. And if our ancestors could build without opportunity, if they could innovate without recognition, if they could rise without access, then imagine what this generation can do with education, technology, and global opportunity. Because survival is no longer the goal. Ownership is the mission. Ownership of business, ownership of ideas, ownership of technology, ownership of land, ownership of capital, ownership of the future. Because when you own something, you don't ask for a seat at the table. You build the table.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, let me tell you a story. There was a young man who grew up in a neighborhood where opportunity was scarce. The expectations were low, the resources were limited, and many people assumed his future had already been decided. But he made a decision. He said, if opportunity does not come to my community, I will create it.
Yes, sir.
He studied when others slept. He worked when others quit. He saved when others spent. Years later, he did not just got a job. He started a business. And then he hired people from the same neighborhood he came from. Then in the power of ownership. Because when one person rises alone, that is success. But when one person rises and lifts others, that is transformation. Now, let me tell you another story. There was a grandmother who never had the chance to finish school. She worked long, long hours and sometimes 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs. That's what they say about many Jamaicans. They have 10 jobs. But every night before her grandchild went to sleep, she would say, education is your way out. Education is your way out. Discipline is your protection. Character is your power. She did not live to see their success. But today, one is an engineer, one is a school teacher, one is a business owner, because her prayers became their foundation. And tonight, you must understand this. You're not standing on somebody's sacrifice. Somebody struggled. Somebody's faith. Somebody's prayer. And their unfinished dream is now your responsibility. This generation is living in the greatest era of opportunity in human history. Technology has lowered barriers. Knowledge is accessible. Markets are global. Opportunity is digital. This is your time. Build business. Build institutions. Continue to love. Build wealth. Build legacy. Do not wait for opportunity. Create opportunity. Do not wait for permission. Claim your position. Do not accept crumbs when you were born to own that bakery. God has blessed me to be one of those innovators and owners. I'm the co-author that is, of 9 books. Co-author of one of humanity's darkest hours, the untold story of the Holocaust. It's never been done like this before in the world. This is the first time of its kind in the world. This book speaks to you, comes alive in your hands. It's not simply a book, it's a learning experience. It was created because traditional textbooks, while historically accurate, they often struggle to speak the language of today's learners. Young people live in a digital world, a world of interaction, sound, visuals, and instant response. This book meets students and avid readers exactly where they are. When you open this book, you are not simply reading history, you are entering into a conversation with this book. Throughout this book, we have QR codes are embedded directly into the pages. When a student or a reader hovers their phone or tablets over a code and scans it, a Holocaust survivor, an African-American slave, begins to speak to you. Historical footage opens instantly. Maps, photographs, and timelines come alive. Context is delivered visually, emotionally, but yet responsibly. There's no app to download, no complicated setup, no technical barriers. The book literally opens a new world. What was once a printed page became a living, breathing classroom. And then something truly transformative happens. The book speaks to you. This book. The book includes interactive chatbot, living digital presence that allows you to ask real questions. What did this really happen? Why did this happen? Why was life like, or what was life like when I was a child? When you were a child? What happened after liberation of the Holocaust? What happens after slavery ended? Can you explain this more simply? And the book responds with accurate, historical, ground age appropriate answers, living in respectful language. Students are no longer passive readers. They're active participants. Technology, when used responsibly, does not replace memory. It protects it.
Yes, that's right.
But hear this clearly tonight, my brothers and my sisters. Success alone is not enough. True power is collective evaluation. Hire someone behind you. Mentor someone that's coming up. Invest in your community. Open doors instead of closing them.
That's right.
That is how success becomes legacy. That is how wealth becomes generational. So when you leave this room tonight, I ask that you walk with confidence, walk with discipline, walk with vision, walk with a purpose, because you carry something powerful within you. You carry the strength of those who survive. My brothers and my sisters, I live in Ukraine. I'm goodwill ambassador to Ukraine. And in this particular area in Bogdanovka, where 54,600 Jews were massacred, murdered in less than 14 days. I was there. I stood at that blood-soaked ground, and I was with Holocaust survivors. This is not something that I'm making up. I lived there. I studied it. I'm a master at Holocaust issues. And that ground spoke to me. I'm able to reflect on all that. Why? Because they are the survivors. They speak to me through my African slavery. They speak to me through what happened with my African brothers and sisters. So, when you leave this room tonight, walk with confidence, walk with discipline, walk with vision, and you walk with a purpose, because you carry something powerful within you. You carry the strength of those who survived. You carry the wisdom of those who built. You carry the prayers of those who believe in a future that they would never see. And that future is you, your children, your grandchildren. So rise in your excellence. Rise in your discipline. Rise in your vision. Rise in your ownership. Rise in your leadership. And years from now, when history looks back at this generation, it will not say that we waited. It will not say that we complained. History will say that they built, they owned, they lifted others, and they rose. So stand tall tonight, walk boldly tomorrow, and remember always you are young, you're gifted, you're black, and the future is not something you hope for. The future is something you build. And if you build it, and if you build it with faith, and if you build it with discipline, and you build it with courage, then history will rise and say, this was the generation that turned promise into power. Thank you, God bless you, and may you rise higher and higher.